In the last video I shared on 9social, I went through some of the basic usage of the system. One of the ways I've been testing it is I would create other Plan 9 users, and each of them would have a profile, and I would post as them, and as another user I would then view their posts and interact with their posts. At some point though, I became more concerned with the performance of 9social. So like, can it handle really large threads? Can it handle a lot of users? Things like that. Like what would it feel like with a bunch of users? So I started to use scripts that will generate users and generate like a small community so that I could simulate a small 9social community. So with this command here, generate community, and I pass in the parameter large, it creates three simulated users and 100 posts per user. And it's a pretty good stress test of the system because each user gets its own 9social Git repository, and each user is basically taking the actions of posting. So it does take a little while to generate the whole community that way. Now, once I generate this sort of simulated community, one of the keys is I want to be able to view the community as one of these simulated users, and that's what this command right here does. Basically, so the generated community goes into this directory, and I'm saying as the user RMS, I want to launch Acme. So now it's going to run Acme as that user, and I'll be able to run 9social from that simulated user's perspective. Okay, so I'm in a terminal here. I'm logged in as Glenda. I'm in the 9social source directory, and I'm going to call this shell as command that I was just showing you, and we're going to run it as to basically operate as user RMS using this generated community directory, and we're going to run Acme. So we'll go ahead and run that, and it comes up. So right here you can see this is the simulated user's home directory. Now at this point you can just use 9social as any user. So I can run the 9social menu command, brings up the menu. Okay, so here I've run the posts command, and we can see all the generated posts. If I put the cursor on one of the post references, I can do open post, read the post from here, and from there we can reply to the post, like the post. I covered some of this stuff in the previous video. So I wanted to get a feel for what 9social would be like to use with more realistic looking threads, because with the generated threads I was using, it's just a bunch of the posts that look the same. The thread responses don't look organic. So I have this command add hn thread, stands for add hacker news thread, and I give it a URL of a post. And what that does is with one of these generated or simulated communities, it basically recreates that entire post, well, as far as all the comments go. If there's a user, well, for every user that it encounters, it creates a 9social user. Whatever post they made, or I should say comment they made, it treats that as a reply and includes, whatever they posted in there as if it were a 9social post. So in this Acme, I'm running as one of the simulated users, and I've loaded this community, which has a few of those Hacker News comments threads loaded. So if I go up here to 9social posts, middle click on that. So there's an argument there, 20. That's optional. You can select the whole thing, middle click, and that'll give you 20 posts instead of the default. Right now I only have 3 Hacker News posts imported, but each of these has a lot of comments. You can see here for this post, the R indicates how many replies. So there's 66 top level replies. That doesn't tell you how many comments there are total, just how many replies. So if I put the cursor there and go to open post, we can, well, okay, this is just a link post, so you're just going to see the URL. But if I do replies, middle click that and give it a couple of seconds, we will then see all of the top level comment replies of that post. So there's should be about 66 of them based on that number there. And so in any one of these, you can then say, like this one right here, put the cursor there. And if I do replies, I'll see just the top level replies to that comment. But you can also do, and let me put this on a new line so that it's clear. This 9social show thread, so yeah, cursor's there on our post reference, middle click show thread, and give it a second while it generates a thread. It's not the fastest. Okay, so there the thread's generated. Okay, I made the window a little wider so we could accommodate the thread view, but there you can see this is a thread view, but it's only the summaries. It's not showing all the text under each one. And so you can go to any one of these and it's the same deal. You put your cursor on a post reference and then middle click open post and you can read what they said. Hacker News does use some, I guess, special codes as far as rendering goes. I'm not interpreting those because for the purposes of this, it's not so much to read Hacker News as it's just to, like I say, get a stress test the system and also to get a better feel for what some large threads would be like in 9social. But from here, you can take all the actions that I demonstrated in the other video. You could reply to this post. I could create another Acme window and log in as this, simulated user and see the reply from his perspective. So by simulating these larger communities and more organic looking threads, it's definitely exposed a few performance issues with the way 9social was implemented. So it's been a good way to, tighten things up. And as of now, everything is still implemented in pure RC and awk. So if there were any truly hotspots, yeah, maybe some of those could be, especially some of the awk scripts, they could be ported to C for a little more speed. But by keeping them in RC and awk, it is kind of a test of the design itself. Like if I can get it to run fast using just RC and awk, that's a pretty good measure of some of the design. I have ported some of the 9social commands to Go, mostly out of curiosity to see like how much of a speed benefit I would get. Obviously, it's going to be faster, but I mean, if the algorithms are jacked, then, or if the design, I should say, like the index and things like that are not good, then the speed won't be that much improved. But so far, yeah, the few tests I've done when I've ported things to Go, it has been much faster. After some of the optimizations and reorganization that I did to accommodate these larger simulated threads, the source code for 9social has grown a bit. Now it's at about 4,000 lines of code. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.